Imagine, for a moment, you're sitting in a dimly lit room, the velvet curtains drawn tight around you. You're alone, except for the flicker of a projector, showing reel after reel of glitz, glamour, and the intoxicating allure of old Hollywood. But here's the kicker. What if I told you that behind all that glittering surface were stories, betrayals, and affairs so scandalous they could have shattered careers before they even began? Affairs that changed Hollywood forever. Welcome to the dark side of Tinseltown. You've heard of the names, the stars, the legends, but behind those bright smiles were secrets hidden in the shadows. Secrets that weren't meant to be uncovered, yet somehow managed to escape the vaults of time. This is Hollywood's underbelly. Let's dive in. Number 10. Clark Gable and Loretta Young, a love child in the making. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, known for his charm, his killer smile, and that unmistakable voice. But what if I told you his most famous affair was hidden for years, in plain sight? Enter Loretta Young, an actress with beauty that could melt the coldest of hearts. Their affair? A whirlwind of passion and secrecy. After a year of keeping their relationship under wraps, Loretta found herself pregnant. Gable, being the good guy of Hollywood, knew this was a scandal waiting to happen. So what did he do? He simply disappeared. Young went into hiding, having the child and later raising it as her own. No mention of Gable. It wasn't until years later that the truth came to light. Gable was the father of Loretta's daughter. The love child wasn't some tabloid fantasy. It was a reality, and it had been buried for decades. But Gable, the charming playboy, walked away unscathed, while Young was left to pick up the pieces of a life tainted by one of Hollywood's most enduring cover-ups. Guess who ended up being the real victim? Number 9. Errol Flynn and the underage scandal. Errol Flynn, debonair, devil-may-care, and a predator? The man who embodied adventure on screen also lived a life full of debauchery behind the scenes. Flynn's infamous relationships with young girls, teenagers, in fact, wasn't just the subject of whispers. It was a matter of public record. Flynn's most notorious affair came with a 15-year-old aspiring actress, Beverly Odland. While Hollywood was busy idolizing the star, Flynn was caught up in a scandal that almost destroyed his career. But did it? Not quite. Instead, the rumors were brushed aside, swept under the rug like so many other transgressions in the world of movie stars. Let's be real, Hollywood was always willing to turn a blind eye if it meant keeping the money rolling in. It was only a matter of time before the public forgot and Errol Flynn's charm could work its magic again. Number 8. Marlon Brando and the scandalous mob ties. Brando, Marlon, the man who defined method acting. The man who made The Godfather a cinematic masterpiece. But beneath the tough guy exterior, Brando was entangled in a web of scandalous affairs, and none more shocking than his connection to the mob. Brando's affair with actress Jean Peters didn't just rattle the tabloids. It was a direct hit to Hollywood's clean image. Why? Because he was tied to the mafia in ways no one wanted to talk about. The rumors of mob dealings, dirty money, and his relationships with infamous gangsters gave an entirely new layer to his persona. One that didn't quite match the image of the boy next door we were sold. It wasn't just the love triangle with Jean Peters. It was the shady dealings that followed. Hollywood wanted to wash its hands of Brando, but they were hooked on his talent. So, they did what they always did, put a pretty face on it and hoped people would forget. Number 7. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, a love affair, a box office hit, and a scandal. Who could forget the most publicized love affair of the 20th century? Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. They had it all. Power, passion, and drama that would rival any soap opera. But while the world swooned over their romance, they were two of the most notorious adulterers in Hollywood's history. Burton was already married when he met Taylor, and she, of course, was no stranger to marital infidelity. Their affair on the set of Cleopatra was so intense, so consuming, that it nearly derailed both their careers. But what made it all the more scandalous was the fact that they were both married at the time. Not once, but twice, making their affair not just an emotional bond, but a public spectacle. What's the moral of the story? In Hollywood, love isn't just an affair of the heart. It's about public perception, and their scandal would be just the beginning of many more to come. Number 6. Judy Garland and James Mason. Love, manipulation, and tragedy. Judy Garland's life was full of heartache, from being pushed into the spotlight at a young age to struggling with addiction and abusive relationships. But one of the most damaging affairs of her life was with actor James Mason. Mason was not just an actor, but a manipulative force in Garland's already chaotic life. Their affair started off as a passionate whirlwind, but it quickly spiraled into manipulation and emotional abuse. Garland, already fragile from years of Hollywood's cruelty, found herself emotionally and mentally enslaved to Mason. Hollywood loved the scandal, loved the story, but at what cost? Garland's life continued to spiral downward, while Mason's career remained intact. The truth was clear. In old Hollywood, hearts were broken for the sake of entertainment, and people were just pawns in a never-ending game. Number 5. Charlie Chaplin and the underage love affair. Charlie Chaplin, the silent genius who gave us the most iconic moments in cinematic history. But his personal life? Not so much. One of Chaplin's darkest secrets was his affair with a young, 15-year-old actress named Joan Barry. The relationship became the talk of the town when Chaplin was sued for paternity by Barry, who claimed he was the father of her child. The media frenzy that followed revealed a side of Chaplin few knew about: an underage affair, a public humiliation, and a tarnished reputation. But Chaplin, much like many others, was allowed to dance away from the consequences, his artistic genius somehow overshadowing his scandalous actions. Number 4. Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner. A match made in scandal. Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner were Hollywood's ultimate bad boy and girl. Their affair? A mix of passion, excess, and brutal honesty. But their relationship was far from the romanticized version that Hollywood loved to sell. Sinatra was married when he met Gardner, and their love affair was as wild and unpredictable as both of their careers. The two were embroiled in numerous fights, public scandals, and a relationship so turbulent it could have only come from a Hollywood script. Their volatile affair made headlines but didn't slow down their careers. And though their marriage ended, their legacy of scandal and excess didn't. Number 3. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Love against the odds. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall's love story is one of Hollywood's most iconic, but it's also one of the most scandalous because, while the two stars were falling in love on screen, they were both in complicated marriages. Bogart was married to actress Mayo Method when he started seeing Bacall. Bacall, on the other hand, was far too young to be involved with the likes of a man like Bogart. The scandal was impossible to ignore, but despite the gossip, their affair blossomed into a true Hollywood romance. Their love story might have had a rocky start, but it turned into something fans still look to for proof that love in Hollywood can survive. Number 2. Rita Hayworth and Orson Welles. The marriage that never was. Rita Hayworth, the fiery redhead who captured the hearts of millions, had a brief but intense marriage to the legendary Orson Welles. Their love was a spark in the darkness, but it was also doomed from the start. Welles was deeply controlling, and his dominance over Hayworth's career was apparent. While the affair didn't result in a scandalous public fallout, it certainly played its part in Hayworth's eventual fall from grace. Welles' cold manipulation left Hayworth broken, and their relationship ended in divorce. Though their marriage wasn't the most publicized affair, its lasting impact on both their lives was undeniable. Number 1. The affair that shook the foundations of Hollywood. The Kennedy brothers and Marilyn Monroe. The biggest scandal in Hollywood history? Marilyn Monroe, the Kennedy brothers, and the deepest secrets ever kept. Monroe's affair with President John F. Kennedy is well documented, but it's the affair with his brother, Robert, that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Monroe's involvement with two of the most powerful men in the world wasn't just a love triangle. It was a powder keg waiting to explode. The affair became so dangerous, it was whispered in the corridors of power that Monroe was silenced for good. Her tragic death, shrouded in mystery and controversy, raised even more questions about the Kennedys' involvement. Was it murder? Was it a cover-up? What we know for sure is this: the affair rocked Hollywood to its core, and the repercussions are still felt today. And there you have it, Some hidden affairs that changed Hollywood forever, shaking the foundations of an industry built on illusions. These weren't just stories, they were seismic shifts that forever altered the lives of everyone involved. But what's the takeaway? In Tinseltown, the brightest stars cast the darkest shadows. And those shadows? They never go away. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Stay tuned for more shocking stories coming your way. Until next time, keep the mystery alive.